welcome back to Causing Nebula. So in today's video, I wanted to react to this body cam video that came across my recommended feed. So lately I have been binge watching a lot of these body cam videos because I think that it shows you the truth about how people behave. So I am a millennial, so I remember back in the day before cops used to wear body cams, what you used to see a lot in the black community is that a lot of people always used to say things like, cops, profiled them, they didn't do anything wrong, the cops arrested them for no reason. I'm not saying that there is not a history of corruption in the police department. Of course it is, but I am saying that I enjoy watching cop cam videos because a lot of people in these videos, they freak out. And then even though they are freaking out, and even though the cops are giving them every single chance in the world to calm down and handle the situation reasonably, it's like these people almost never ever take that route. But when they get in trouble and when it results in them going to jail, they are just outraged. So I wanted to quickly react to this video of this woman. She's a CNA and she just ruins her job immediately for literally no good reason.
Just please sign it, please. Sign my paper, please.
A temp nurse snaps after being called out for unprofessional behavior, and by the time police show up, the meltdown's in full swing.
What's the issue? We found out about
yes, a disgruntled agency employee who was refusing to leave.
Okay.
Who was irate. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Okay,
take a breath. Excuse me, ma'am. They telling me to go home, and I'm just telling them to sign my worksheet, and I'm going to leave the building. Okay.
I want you to imagine acting like this at a job. And I want to also point out, look at this woman's uniform. And I'm not talking about her work uniform. I'm talking about the way she has chosen to dress herself. This woman has on, of course, a lace front wig. She has the baby hairs glued down to her forehead. And the color of the wig is like this auburn, reddish brown color. She has on nails, and of course she has on eyelashes. And I talked about this in my Black Fatigue and my Carnival Cruise videos. A lot of black people, they love to talk about like profiling or being treated a certain way based on how they look. But the reality is that a lot of black women in particular who engage in this kind of trashy behavior, they also choose to wear these type of clothes. So whether or not you are that kind of person, or whether or not you think that this specific uniform should represent ghetto, guess what? There's nothing you can really do about it, because so many people that act a damn fool in public choose also to wear these types of elements altogether. So as a fellow black person, you really cannot escape being prejudged, or you cannot escape being profiled if you also choose to wear these kind of clothes. But anyway, let's get back to the video.
I'm going to leave the building. Please, I'm just ready to leave. I'm just asking the supervisor to sign. All I'm asking the supervisor is to sign my paper for me, please. I'm knowing they want me to leave.
That's okay.
I'm ready to go.
To another level. Here, come on outside.
Oh my God,
Come on outside.
They're not trying to pay me for my shift. I've been here since 6 in the morning. I just want to get back. Oh, he looks
So is this the only way?
Yes, this is the only way.
And somebody needs really to study this phenomena in the black community where so many black people simply cannot control their emotions. And I wonder if this is probably likely due to there being a lack of fathers in the home. And I know that people say stuff like, well, women are the more emotional sex. And this is not true. Men are, in my opinion, just as emotional as women are. But I think that in a lot of instances, they express it differently, or it is not socially acceptable for them to engage in a lot of this type of meltdown behavior for something that seems so minor. But there is some truth to the fact that a lot of women are extremely emotionally driven. And when I say that, I mean the actual population of all the women in the world. If we took a sample of what percentage of them are prone to thinking and acting only with their feelings and no logic, there are a lot of women that technically applies to. I think in a way that it doesn't apply to men, but I'm not saying that it doesn't apply to men. But this woman is acting like, I don't even want to say she's acting like a teenager, because even as a teenager, acting like this over something as minor as being told to go home and people not willing to sign your work card or whatever, she has no reason to be screaming and crying about that. That's not a screaming and crying thing, right? Because in the United States, we have laws. And by law, if you worked a shift, that business has to pay you your money. And I assume that she has proof that she was there, right? She has video proof that she was there. So even if they don't sign that end of the day card or whatever it is, yeah, I'm pretty sure she could still file a claim with the labor board and they will recover the wages. But even still, I highly doubt that this, whatever kind of facility that this is, I highly doubt that they wouldn't give her money back. So I really don't understand this type of person. And I don't really understand clearly how people become like this. So even though you can kind of blame the environment that you were raised in, that only really applies to a certain degree, right? You can't blame your environment for the rest of your life. And this girl, she doesn't look like she is like 16, 17, 18. She looks to be in her 20s, maybe mid 20s. So she has had enough time, in my opinion, to grow up. But this is how she chooses to behave.
Wait, for what are you deciding? I just want to go.
Yeah, but you're screaming at me and I can't process what's actually
Okay, I'm
happening
sorry.
because it's too much.
Okay, I'm sorry, but can you please just ask
I'm
him?
not trying to remove
Can you
you.
please
in an
just, all I
aggressive way.
need is for him to sign my
Who's your
paper.
supervisor?
It's like a whole bunch of people here. No, I want y'all to sign it. Let it go.
I can't.
No, I just want y'all to
Ma'am,
sign it.
I can't
No,
hear.
because he's not listening. I just want
You're
somebody
not
to sign my paper,
You're
bro.
not listening.
Can you sign my paper?
And in my opinion, I think the police are being too nice. I think that this police woman is being too nice. I think that whenever I watch a lot of these body cam videos, I think that a lot of times the police officers are often too nice with people who are acting like this, right? Because people who act like this, the reason that they act like this is because there has never been any real serious consequence to them acting like this. And so whenever I watch body cam videos, I love it when police officer just walks onto the scene and it's just like, nah. And they just walk in and immediately handcuff them. If the person resists, they immediately tase them. They drag them out to the car. Because I think that this is like a nursing home. There are elderly people in the rooms on this floor. And this woman is screaming at the top of her lungs because they won't sign her work card or whatever that is. I'm so sick of police being nice to these people. But in my opinion, this police officer, she's being too nice and she needs to get control of the situation. But I think that maybe police officers being nice like this is a result of the social pushback that happened over the last few years. And I'm not saying, again, that police officers didn't behave like assholes for a long time. But again, there has to be a middle ground, right? There has to be a middle ground. And I think that the pendulum has swung too far to the other side.
No, just put your name and sign it. You just need to sign. Why are you touching me?
Because you're not listening
Can you
and they're
please
asking you to
sign
go.
Can you please? Why are you touching my phone?
You're telling me to
Please,
touch
I'm
your phone.
asking you to have them sign my
I'm
paper.
not
Like,
having them do anything.
I please,
You're
I
not
just want to go
listening. Get
home.
out.
Please, can you please? Oh my God.
Move outside or I'm moving
No,
you outside.
no.
Move outside.
I just need a signature to go home. Please, please. No, they not gonna sign it. I just need a signature. I just need a signature. I just need a signature.
And you know what? Also, I think for people like this, a lot of what they do is about being able to control the situation, right? They get a lot of fulfillment out of being able to scream and cry and violate social order and get away with it by pretending to be the victim and acting like they're not doing anything wrong. But I don't think on a subconscious level, they are not unaware that they are doing something wrong and that they don't really care, which is why I think that this is not a situation where you show this person compassion because they have no empathy for other people, right? They don't give a fuck about other people. And I really hate this type of person. And I'm a person that grew up in a household with several narcissists and a few people who are histrionic, just all kinds of bizarre personality disorders. And so I've met a lot of people like this who use flipping the fuck out as some kind of like power move, the ability to like drain everybody around them. And as an adult, whenever I meet a person like this, when I tell you, I will get my black ass up and just walk away. Like, I'm not listening to what you have to say. I don't care what you are talking about. I don't care what happened. If you are going to act like this and scream and cry and wail and make it into this big drama, right? Because you cannot tell me that this woman does not get off on the drama of everything, right? This is just, she didn't need to act like this, right? She could have calmly said, can you please sign my card so I can leave? Ma'am, can you please sign my card so I can leave? If you sign it, I will leave. Please sign it and I will leave. If you do this for me, then I will leave, right? She could have calmly just kept reinforcing what she wanted to say, but I don't think I don't think that at the end of the day, these type of people are completely and utterly unable to control their emotions. I think that they enjoy getting away with doing shit like this. And the police at this point, they should have just dragged her the fuck out. Like, I don't understand why they keep repeating the same thing over and over again. Can you please leave? Can you please just drag her out the door, because the door is right there. And I'm sure everybody is tired of hearing her bullshit, right? Like, why does she get to disturb everybody's peace? And this is what I really enjoy about living abroad. I have seen like couples fighting or the police being called. Oh my God. I've seen that happen here maybe once or twice. Like, you don't really see people screaming and crying and throwing fits in the middle of the street, right? Because people generally have shame here. But I can't stand this fucking type of person. I will not stand in their presence for even 1 minute. I don't care if 99% of the time they have no reason to fucking be acting like this, but they enjoy it so much that they can't help themselves.
I did not try to play me. They not trying to play me.
What they're saying, she won't stop. I'm trying to talk to them.
Can you please add this? Can you find it?
Give me the phone.
Can you ask somebody?
And also, how did she get this job?
And I will talk to them.
No.
Step outside.
No, just ask somebody
This
to
is
please.
all being recorded.
Just please sign it, please.
This is all
I'm begging you to please. Please
just calm down.
Please just sign my
Do you hear
paper,
what he's saying?
please.
He has no problem.
Yes, you do. You know you do. Please, you
Step
please just
outside.
sign
You're not
it.
going anywhere. You
Please,
get that?
please, you do. Give it to the supervisors.
Calm down.
Can you please just sign my paper? You
Grab your
keep putting
jacket.
Warren Bar, and that's not
Stop.
the name.
Stop.
That's Warren Bar, and that's not my name. That's not his
This is
name.
all being recorded
No,
right
he's
now.
cheating. He just cheated. He is cheating. No.
And the best part is that she's not actually even crying. Like, when she started, she was crying, but she hasn't produced any fucking tears in like the last 3 minutes. She has produced no new tears. She is not at the point where she is out of control, like I said. Like, you know how when something crazy happens in a person's life, like, for example, their child, they find out that their child was killed, right? When something big like that happens in a person's life, you cannot fake that level of just explosive emotion, right? You can't fake that kind of explosive emotion. But she is trying her badly, in my opinion, to fake it. And these police officers are being too nice, especially this man. Like, he looked like he's sick of her shit. But what I don't understand is why he doesn't just physically drag her the fuck out of there. Because you can see that there are people here waiting in this little walkway to trying to get inside, I guess, to see a relative, because you can see bags in this person's hand and they can't do anything. Everything is at a standstill because this single person is holding everything up and the police are allowing her to do it. You cannot tell me that this is not a waste of fucking taxpayer money. And this female officer, like I said, she's being too nice. And I don't really like when women who are weak are given power. And I think that would probably offend a lot of women, because I think people always say like, oh, you know, women are not too weak to wield power. A lot of women are too weak to wield power because they use empathy when action is necessary. And this is not to say all women, but what I really don't like is when women who are not assertive enough are given power and then they basically bungle it all up by trying to be too nice. They need to drag her ass the fuck on up out of here and move on, right? She's not even mad anymore. Right? She has calmed down and she is trying to maintain the same level of energy simply because she fucking likes drama.
Please step out.
No.
You're being asked to step
No.
out.
All right, fuck you. Fuck you, time out. Goofy ass, I'm looking for the money. She goofy ass. Fuck you, time
I just said it. This is how she reacts. So I would not want her to.
They hired this woman to work at a retirement home, I think. She works with old people, y'all. And as I've said on my channel before, I have kidney disease. And one day I will need to be on dialysis. And I know that they hire a lot of CNAs to basically set up the dialysis machine. And let me tell you something. If I walked into a dialysis clinic and I saw a CNA with a lace front wig, with her hair glued down to her forehead, with her little eyelashes, her nails, when I tell you, I would call the charge nurse immediately and ask for a different nurse. And I think people would be like, you know what, that's racist. You can't do that. Why not? Right? Why not? If you are choosing to wear this type of uniform and associate yourself with people who behave like this, even if you are somebody that doesn't behave like this, you should be smart enough to know, aha, these elements associate me with these type of people, and I don't want to be associated with these type of people, so I'm not going to dress like that. And more importantly, it's just unprofessional, in my opinion. I think that you can dress however you want outside of work, but for a job like a nurse, I think that there should be a certain standard that nurses have to maintain when it comes to their appearance, right? I don't think necessarily that it's sanitary to have a lace front wig glued down to your forehead. I also don't think it's sanitary to walk around with long nails where all kinds of things get caught under your nails, right? I highly doubt that every time this woman cleans her hands that she is scrubbing under her nail beds. So I wouldn't want any kind of service from this kind of person. And they called the police on her, but guess what? At the end of the day, they hired her. And if I was a resident there, like, this place looks decent. And even if this place isn't like the nicest place in the world, you know that these types of places are expensive as hell. If I had a relative in this nursing home, when I tell you, I would call and cuss the administration the fuck out for hiring this type of person, because you cannot tell me that this job pays a decent wage, right? Because they are hiring people like her. You cannot tell me that they are paying a decent wage while the residents who live there are probably paying directly really quite decent fees to live there, or the government is paying decent fees on their behalf. And I know that for dialysis in the United States, dialysis patients all cost the taxpayers $1 million a year. So when I tell you, if I was a dialysis patient, or when I'm a dialysis patient, I'm not putting up with any kind of nonsense, any kind of poor hiring practices. So in my opinion, this nursing home administrator is also at fault for hiring this kind of raggedy ass person to work around old people who are frail, who are weak. A lot of them have lost a lot of mental faculties, and you hired this type of person. And I want y'all to hear why this woman was fired.
Did she threaten you?
She did.
So what
And all
happened
of them
here?
was out there.
Okay.
I came upstairs. She was in the hallway dancing. And I said, oh, you just gonna dance while supervisor's walking around? She was like, I'm on break. I said, okay, well, if you're on break, you need to leave the floor. I'm watching the resident. So either you're on break.
And then I don't know if it's chef's kiss that the goddamn fire alarm battery hasn't been changed, but it's giving very ghetto, right? And so far, we have seen primarily black people. Like, I guess this is a person coming to visit a resident. He's black. A few of the staff here is black. She was black. I saw 1 or 2 white people, but I would imagine this is probably like maybe a predominantly black area. And like I said, black people, they will complain about racism, but black people don't actually put in effort to escape a lot of stereotypes. And in this video, the entire time, the goddamn fire alarm is just beep, 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 beeping.
You watch the residents, so she don't want you to tell her nothing. So I came downstairs to the supervisor and
the room the room.
Thank you, guys. Put stuff in here and close the door.
Yeah.
Who is she? What is the name? Do we have her name?
My name is Yushana. What is Yushana's last name?
I don't have it in front of me.
So you want more than just her leaving today?
Yes.
Okay.
She literally charged at this lady.
She did. And
Like she wanted to fight. And she told me to get my motherfucking hands off of her before she,
Okay.
And so
So you said she charged at you.
she did.
So that would be assault if you believe that you were in fear of receiving a battery. A battery is a physical connection where she's gonna physically harm you. So do you think it was assault, or is it disorderly conduct where she's disturbing
No,
the
she
peace?
was getting ready to come. They stood in between her.
Okay.
How did she get that job? I am so curious about how this type of person was able to get a job. You cannot tell me that she interviewed well. I do not believe that this type of person was able to sufficiently code switch in order to do a proper interview. And I know that a lot of people are very sensitive about like code switching, but at the end of the day, your ability to code switch, as I said, it shows your mentality. The way that we talk is a big part of our own personality and how we view ourselves and how we want to be viewed by other people. So it doesn't matter what color your skin is. Every single person across all cultures, even the one that I live in currently, they behave a lot more uncharacteristically proper in order to convey a good image. And so in my opinion, the ability to properly code switch is very important for certain types of jobs. And if I was hiring an employee and they were any race, any social class, and I felt like they could not code switch in a way where it gave off a professional vibe, I would not hire them, because guess what? It's a red fucking flag. It's a red flag. The inability to speak properly, the inability to speak clearly, to use a professional tone when you talk, that indicates your mentality. And that is a red flag. At least it's a yellow flag, right? Like I said, people all use their own like speaking pattern. People are more casual once they get jobs, right? This is all normal, but like I feel like the ability to code switch is definitely important when it comes to certain jobs. You cannot tell me that this woman was able to. And so these women who hired her are partially responsible for it.
You know that CNA's name?
Yeah, you Shauna Powell.
Okay. What is your role here? Your rank?
Manager.
Okay. We started on her.
Manager.
And she is a CNA.
Yes.
And she is like a temp worker that came here for the day, or does she
Yes.
normally come here?
She normally comes here. I've seen her here several times.
So, have you ever had issues with her before?
No.
Okay. And so today, what happened?
So today she came in, she was in the hallway, she was on her phone dancing. And I've seen her before. She don't want you to tell her anything, so I really don't say anything. But
So you see, she just said that she is the kind of person, first of all, she is at work at a nursing home. Even if she was on break, why is she in the hallways at the nursing home with her phone out dancing? Right? Right. This is a complete and utter lack of cultural capital and cultural awareness of how to behave in this type of environment, which is why, in my opinion, you shouldn't hire these types of people. You have to learn these skills when you become adult. If your parents didn't teach them to you, as an adult, you have to fucking learn them. You cannot tell me that this woman, regardless of where she was raised, what kind of station she was raised in, you cannot tell me that she is completely and utterly unaware of how you are supposed to behave in a workplace, right? But this woman just admitted that, oh yeah, she's the kind of person that, you can't tell her anything, and she gets mad when you try to tell her anything. So y'all already had red flags of what kind of person she was. So when y'all fired her and told her to go home, what the fuck did y'all think was gonna happen? So these people are to blame for this woman being a goddamn clown. They're to blame for this woman being a goddamn clown. And if I was a family member of a resident who lived there, when I tell you, I would call the administrator and I would cuss them the fuck out, because even if this place is not, like I said, the nicest place, these types of places by their nature are fairly expensive. And even if a CNA doesn't make a lot of money, this facility is taking in enough money to be turning a profit, and they should be hiring according to that. And if they are not, then the residents, the relatives of the residents who are living there have the right to complain.
But I was walking around, but she on the floor dancing. So I told her, I was like, you see supervisors walking and you're just going to continue to dance. And that's what she told me, I'm on break. I said, okay, if you're on break, then you need to leave the floor. So then she was like, well, I'm watching the patient. So I said, oh, okay.
So she was watching the patient while dancing. She said on the floor. I guess she means like by on the floor. I don't think she means like on the actual floor, down on the floor. I think she means like on the floor out where other people can see her.
So watch the patient, or you go, or you on break, or you watching the patient. Yeah. She was like, well, why are you disrespectful, ma'am? I said, I'm not disrespectful. I'm just trying to figure out what you're doing. I continued to keep walking. So I went downstairs to talk to this young lady to find out what was
your
going on.
Supervisor?
She's not my supervisor. She's She's the CNA supervisor. Okay. So she's the CNA supervisor.
So I assume this is the woman who hired her.
I asked her, I was like, so she said she's been having problems with her all day. I said, well, we need to.
Oh, shit. And they gave her chance after chance after chance. I wish black people would stop doing this. Stop helping black people who don't want to be helped. Because a lot of black people don't want to be helped. A lot of black people, they walk around with this attitude like, oh, like if you get a job and you're a black person, you should uplift other black people. And while I can to some degree agree with that, because other people uplift other people like them, and not even necessarily on just a basis of race specifically, a lot of people do it just based on relationship, right? You see a lot of nepotism. You see a lot of favors being done for people who are friends with the right kinds of people. So because other people are also unfair when they hire people and they give legs up to certain types of people for biased reasons, then I don't necessarily see anything wrong with hiring a person for a biased reason. But as a black person, yeah, I'm not giving a job to a black person that doesn't want to be saved. I'm not giving help to a black person that doesn't want to be saved, right? Because like I said, it doesn't matter where you are raised. We are Americans, right? This video was taken in the United States of America. We all have access to the internet. We all have access to all types of media that depict at least the way the rest of the world fucking lives, right? So even if you were raised in a zoo, you know that everybody else doesn't pull their pants down and shit on the floor. So if you go outside the place you come from and you act a fool, you know that in acting a fool, that is not the norm there, and you know that it's wrong, but you are choosing to do it, right? So I don't necessarily believe in the idea that black people should give other black people a leg up. If they don't want to be saved, right? If they don't want to work hard, if they don't want to behave properly in a workplace, no, you shouldn't give them a chance. You shouldn't make excuses for them. You shouldn't do any of that, because you are not going to be thanked for it, right? No good deed goes unpunished, right? So I'm sure the supervisor knew about it. The supervisor probably should have done something with her earlier, but no, she let it turn into this big ass screaming match. And I guarantee you that this supervisor's bosses are going to be mad as hell, because, like I said, it's more likely that they are going to get a bunch of complaints from residents. And even you saw family members who saw this woman acting a fool, who saw her run out screaming, cussing, spitting at people. You cannot tell me that the administration of this facility is not going to have a big ass headache on their plate. And you know, when that kind of shit happens, they blame the next person down. So this woman is a damn fool for hiring her, or at least allowing her to stay and not getting rid of her sooner.
Send her home. I said, do we have enough coverage? We can go ahead and send her home. And she was like, yeah. I said, well, you want to go? I said, she said, we can both go. So we went up there. She told me she needs to go. So now she on break, right? She down there. She's sitting down. She's charting. She's documenting, but she on break. She was like, well, I got to go home. What I'm going home for? I said, are you really asking that question? I said, well, first of all, you said you was on break. You didn't leave the floor. I said, are you on break now? What the fuck you talking about? What the fuck? And she just escalated from like 0 to 10 right there. So she got up. She started telling her, get the fuck away from me. Get the fuck away from me. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. And she started working. So she was like, what the fuck you gonna do? And then she started coming to me, and I kind of stepped back. And then I'm not going to get hit. Right. She stepped out. I'm going to get hit, though. So she came in front of her. And then a couple people came in between them. And I just went on, and I just stepped back, and I stepped back. And then she talked about what she was going to do to me.
What are those words? What did she say to you?
My dead grandma, bitch, fuck you up. And you know, right.
So she is proper hood. She is proper from the street. Right? She immediately reverted back to saying shit that people say when they from the hood. Like, if you watch any kind of like hood videos, hood fighting, hood arguments, they all say the exact same repetitive shit, right? Because it is a learned behavior. I know people like to criticize black people and act like this is somehow inbuilt into black people's DNA. It's not. It is a learned behavior. And because most people are followers and they cannot rise above whatever circumstance they are put in, a lot of black people raised in the hood, they develop this over sensitivity and this overcompensating bravado in order to prove how, like I said in my Carnival Cruise video, they try to prove how not weak they are by overreacting to minor ass things. All they said to her was like, you know what? We have enough coverage for today. Go ahead and go home. Like, if she had just went home, they probably would have signed her little work release card and she would have got paid and she could have just went home. And they said that she came from a temp agency, so she gets paid by the day anyway. But instead of doing that, right, she can't let them punk her. She can't let them punk her. No, she has to say something. She has to stand up for herself. She has to scream, right? She has to make a scene so that she can go home and tell all her friends that, you know what, I didn't let that bitch say, I didn't let that bitch punk me though. Like, I didn't let that bitch say whatever she wanted to say to me. Like, I can't fight her. And it's just like, I want to say to black people that behave like this, like, what the fuck is your end game? Like, why can't you just walk away from shit? Like, so many black people need to walk away from stuff. It is not that serious. You want to get a charge for fighting somebody because they asked you not to do something at your job, and then when they accepted your bad behavior multiple times, and then they nicely asked you to just go, instead of just leaving, you made it into a bigger deal, and then you want to get a criminal record so that you cannot go further in your career. Because I think that nurses can't go to nursing school if they have a criminal record. I'm not sure on that, but I think that there's a law regarding that, or at least rules regarding it. But I just don't really understand a lot of black people like this. And this is why I don't feel sorry for a lot of poor black people, because it is not the case that race is holding them back. It's the case that their behavior and their choices and their reactions are what is holding them back. And you cannot feel any empathy for a person like that.
And you took that as that she was going to make physical contact.
She was walking
towards her. If I wouldn't have got in between her, she would have.
And she kept coming up. So I kept coming back, and she was like, and I'll fucking spit on you and all this, that, and another, and so on and such and such. And then she They got into the elevator. She got on the elevator. She went down, and then that's when we kept saying, "Call you guys," and they said you was pulling up, and then that's when we came down. And you seen the rest of the show.
Okay.
So all of that badass behavior and nothing happened to her. She walked out. They had let her walk out. She spit while she was walking out. They let her scream and carry on for several minutes inside the facility. And she had already been in there for several minutes inside the facility screaming. And rather than just arresting her and at least hassling her, right? Because if she's going to be a menace, then I think that in some ways the police have the right to fucking be a menace to her too, right? But you saw that they gave this weak ass response to it. This woman was able to just walk off the property. She got zero consequences for acting a fucking fool in public, even though she was technically trespassing because they asked her to leave multiple times and she didn't multiple times. These weak ass, punk ass police officers did not arrest her. Even though she was disturbing the peace inside of this facility, and in this facility is private probably, but she was asked to leave, she didn't, and the police didn't really do anything about it. And so these types of people, they don't get punished most of the time. Like, I know that right now in the last like few years, you've seen a lot of teachers leaving the profession. Yeah, it's because of a lot of kids that behave like her. Do you think that this woman woke up one day and started acting like this just today? Of course not. She's been like this in high school. She was like this in middle school. She was like this in elementary school. And I know for a fact that these types of black people exist because they existed when I was in middle school and high school. You have a lot of these kids, like I said, who learn from their environment that whenever anybody says or does anything to you, you should be very sensitive about it and get very upset about it. And you should start screaming and crying about it. And to be honest, a lot of these black people, they learn it from their mothers. And they learn it from their mothers because their mothers are often products of broken homes raised with no fathers, which means that you have a higher likelihood of having a woman who makes bad decisions anyway. And then they pass that behavior down to their kids because their kids think that, acting a fool and screaming and carrying on and getting upset like that is normal. And so they just adopt that behavior. And so they see it so much around them that they think that, this is the standard that everybody else follows, or I'm going to learn how to protect myself by screaming and acting a fool and carrying on. But at the end of the day, all this type of behavior does is reinforce all of the negative stereotypes and all of the negative opinions that people have of black people, especially in the United States, which is why, as a fellow black person, I do not think a lot of those opinions are unfounded, and which is why, as a fellow black person, I make sure that I am not around certain types of black people. And you should too, in my opinion. I think that people need to get away from this whole, I don't think you should judge a book by their cover, or I don't think that you should judge her by this one situation. And it's like, what more do y'all need, right? That is such a American point of view to have. You will find that in almost every other country in the world, especially a lot of homogenous countries, they judge you based on what they see, and they don't care if you feel like it's racist. They don't care if you feel like it's a generalization. They don't care. Right? They don't care because even though it is a generalization, they have seen it more than enough times to make that generalization and to protect themselves from that generalization. So black people, in my opinion, don't really have much to complain about because unfortunately, this type of black person is not rare. But I'm going to stop this video here. This has been a Cosmic Nebula video, and I will see y'all in the next one.